Hi everyone, this is Jackie. I am making a video by request of how I got my polos to have their logo centered in the same chest spot every single time. And I bought this nifty tool on Amazon called an embroidery placement ruler. There's different ones for different sizes, so be very careful when you're buying it to make sure that you're doing it for the correct size shirts. I was doing mostly ladies and men's polos. If you're doing a lot of children's shirts and need the placements on the chest, I would suggest getting a kid's ruler. They have another one of these, and it has the kids' measurements. Basically what it does is it measures out for you here and here on both sides. Where you place it shows a little notch in the corner here, and that's exactly where your mark is going to be to start your embroidery design. Keep in mind, if the logo is off-centered when it's digitized, then this ruler is null and void. It's not going to work. You need to have a good digitizer or digitize it yourself and make sure that the logo is perfectly centered with the design when you load it into your machine. If not, there's a trick around it, and I'll show you how I did that as well. So for example, this specific polo that I already did, but I'll show you how I did it, is a size 10-12 medium. And it's a ladies. So what I did was I look here and I'm looking at ladies medium. This line here on the right side of this ruler is going to line up with the seam here. And now sometimes these polos, as you can see, this one doesn't have it, but some polos have like the double seam here. I usually go off of the first seam down closest, to the chest, not in the middle of the two, not the top one. It makes it harder to center it, so I just go off of the first seam here closest to the chest. Then for this one here, you're going to want it here on the ladies medium. To do this one, you're going to want to line this one up because it's a polo. Most people will show you in their videos on a t-shirt, you fold it in half and then they usually will iron it so you get a nice little seam. And then that's your center line. However, on a polo, you really can't do that, as you can see from the buttons here. So what you're going to do to measure this up to line it is you're going to line it up with the very center of the button. So I button the shirt all the way up first to make sure that there's no shifting, that this one isn't buttoned and then this one's open, so it goes like this. And then what you just do is you're going to place this here right in the middle. I don't know if you can see this here. So if you have to move it up or down to see that it's right on the button, see the ladies medium in the middle of the button. Here, I come up here and I make sure, see, it's too high. So I bring it down and I'm basically a little below the line, but right about there. And then make sure this is still on point and it looks good. If it's crooked for some reason, straighten out your ruler to make sure that it's not, tilted or anything like that. And then right there is where my center placement mark is going to be. So I usually will take either a washable fabric marker. In this case, I knew that these designs, excuse this one, that's, you can see my bobbin came through. So this is actually a damaged shirt that's getting garbaged. Anyway, I would take this one specifically since I know that the design is getting covered by, or I'm sorry, that the marking is getting covered by the design. I went ahead and used a very sharp pointed pencil and did a quick little dot, just one dot right there. And then the hardest part of the whole thing is when you hoop it. As you can see here, I've got my stabilizer in between. This is actually a medium weight cutaway that I used for these designs. And then when you're doing this, it's going to be a little difficult because when you put the hoop in, sometimes the hoop is going to want to turn this way a little bit, or it's going to be slightly turned. I tried to line it up with this here when I hooped it. So basically, I put the bigger portion of my hoop underneath in between the two shirts with the stabilizer. And then I try to make sure, holding it through the neck collar and through the side here to line it up with the seam here from the buttons. And then once I got that, I could straighten this side out and I would tug it just a little bit so that this seam here for the arm didn't end up in the hoop. And then I would just basically take the top one and slide it in, push it as hard as I could, and then I would tighten it. I do not over tighten. I don't like to get hoop burn, so I tighten it just enough so that no matter what happens, that little center hoop is not going to pop out on me. That's pretty much it. When I hooped it, I obviously flipped the shirt inside out, and then I would put it into my machine here. And what you would do is once it's in the machine is the needle should line up with your dot. If it doesn't, because obviously it's very hard to get the dot lined up centered in your hoop when you're hooping. So let it hoop wherever you're going to hoop it. If it's off to the center or off to the left in your hoop, like say you hoop it and it's like this, a little off over here or something, or a little high up here, that's fine. Leave it. hoop it however it's comfortable for you. Then when you get it into your machine, you can come over to your settings when you have the display popped up here and just hit your adjust button once like this, and then you're going to see this plus minus. Hit that again, and what you're going to do is these are your needles. I'm sorry, not this, I apologize. You're going to hit adjust, which is this one. Then you're going to hit layout. And then this is going to show you your arrows. You're going to move these arrows so that your needle is centered on the hoop dot that you drew for the center point, no matter where it is. So you'll move it to the left, to the right, down or up, wherever. I also suggest dropping your needle like this so that you can see that it's dead center in your foot. You can even slide it down just a hair or however you need to do it. As soon as I line that up dead center and I know my hooping is straight, you know, you hit the green button and go. There is also another thing that I do is once it's hooped in here like this, just eyeball it and make sure. I will physically take this by the shoulders on both sides and hold it straight up in front of me and make sure that there's no crooked turn, that it's not tilted, none of the above. So I hope that this made sense. If not, and you need to see a little bit more detail or actually me doing one, let me know and I will post another video. Thanks.